So, my significant other decides that he's going to leave me for a 22-year-old. Keep in mind, he's 44, and we have 3 kids together, and let me just spell out the whole reason he's deciding to leave me. It's not because I'm just growing apart from him, we're not working anymore, oh no. It's simply because I told him. We're in our 40s. We cannot have a 4th child. We can't even keep up with the 3 that we have financially between all their soccer practice and extracurriculars. How are we going to have another kid? Well, that's the moment I realized he doesn't love me as much as I thought he did over the last 30 years. He is with a new woman now. They're getting married and she's already pregnant and he just moved in. This is all happening 8 weeks after our divorce, and I just found something crazy. And it's going to allow me to get full custody and ruin his plan. And you guys can be a witness. I'm writing this at 2 a.m. because Patty, yes, the woman who destroyed my marriage, is currently typing and deleting messages, while my ex-husband Terry calls me repeatedly. Court is in 7 hours. I have not slept in 48, and this is going to be long. But I need somebody to witness this insanity before I walk into that courtroom. Terry and I were together since we were 14. 14? We were each other's first everything, first kiss behind the gym during lunch, first time in his beat-up Honda when we were 17, and first apartment at 19, with a mattress on the floor and a dream larger than our budget. We built a life from scratch. 3 kids now, 15, 13, and almost 11. So, 23 years of history that I thought meant something. Easter Sunday 2022. The kids were sugared up on chocolate, and my mother-in-law was complaining about the ham being dry. It wasn't. It was glazed in honey, and I was mentally planning the week's lunches when Terry looked at me across the dining table, the one that we refinished together while I was pregnant with our youngest, and said, "We should think about a divorce." We should think about a divorce? No fight, no build-up at all, no warning, just those 5 words dropped between the mashed potatoes and green beans, like he was suggesting we switch a cable provider. My stomach did not drop, it evaporated. I kept serving food, kept smiling, and kept my hand steady while my world tilted off its axis. He called it clarity, says he's been thinking about it for months, and said we've grown apart. Said all the things people say when they're already messing with someone else, but wants to sound philosophical about it. I called my best friend, Frankie. Frankie said midlife crisis, don't worry, I've seen this before, he'll be back. So 6 weeks later, June the 1st, my 13-year-old casually mentioned, while I was making dinner, "Oh, Dad picked up Aunt Patty at Walmart before he took us to a youth group. She needed diapers." I actually laughed, because the alternative was acknowledging that my husband was driving around with my best friend's wife while I was at home trying to keep our life together. Why was Aunt Patty with Dad?" I asked, voice steady like my hands were not shaking. "I don't know, she's been around a lot. They're friends now, I guess." Friends? Sure. So June the 3rd, I confronted Terry, asked him directly, "Are you messing around with Patty?" He blinked too slow, like he was blinking Morse code. That tell he's had since we were kids, the one that means he's about to lie and said I see her sometimes and we talk and she just understands me. She understands him? This 20-year-old child with 2 babies and no job gets my 40-year-old husband better than the woman who held his hair when he had food poisoning, who worked 3 jobs to put him through trade school, who gave birth to his 3 children, and built a business with him from literally scratch. So I pack his crap into 2 garbage bags that night, no boxes, garbage bags, because that's what he has become to me. I set them on the porch and the rain started for an hour. I watched from the window as his clothes got soaked. It sort of felt poetic, felt like justice, felt like the universe agreed with me. June the 5th, 2 days later, he's living with Patty. I never cheated, he tells everybody. It happened after we separated. Oh yeah, okay, because you move in with someone after showing them, just knowing them platonically for 2 days. Because 20-year-old mothers of 2 just spontaneously offer housing to 40-year-old divorced men out of Christian good charity. Because I was born yesterday. The PTSD I thought I'd managed from my childhood is another story for another time. Came roaring back like it had been waiting for this exact moment. That constant humming under my skin, that feeling like something terrible is about to happen, except it already has, and it's still happening and it might never stop. Terry started showing up at the house daily for the kids, pounding on the door like I owed him rent, like he had not chosen to leave, like Patty's apartment was not his decision. He told the kids I was keeping him from family, told them that I was being vindictive, and told them Daddy just wanted to love them but Mommy was too angry. He told me, while literally holding his phone with Patty's picture as the wallpaper, that I was, quote, throwing away the best thing that's ever happened to me. The cognitive dissonance could have powered a small city. I filed for divorce immediately. No counseling, no trial separation, no, hey, maybe we can work it out. You don't work out someone choosing a girl who was in elementary school when we got married. The divorce was final, but it was final by fall. The judge even stamped it, and I thought I would be free. Instead, I felt hollow, like somebody had scooped out my insides and forgot to put anything back. But here's the thing about me. I move when I'm drowning, so I enrolled in college. 37 years old, 3 kids, freshly divorced, and starting my degree, because sometimes the only prayer that works is forward motion. So, the real war started about 6 months post-divorce. Not the emotional war that was ongoing, but the paperwork war, the death by 1,000 bureaucratic cuts. First, the Canada Child Benefit for non-Canadians. See, this is government money to help with kids' expenses. It goes to the primary caregiver. I'd been getting it for years because, I was actually raising our children, and then it just stopped. A letter arrived saying I owed the government $40,000 because Terry had claimed the kids lived with him full-time for the past 2 years while we were still married, while he was still in my home. Our home. My lawyer, Mark, a gift from the universe who looks like an accountant but fights like a pit bull, he said, and I quote, "He lied to the CRA, we'll fix it, but the government moves like a glacier, a really bureaucratic glacier." Well, then came the dental bills. My youngest needed major work. Genetics are, no joke. The separation agreement said Terry covers 80% of medical expenses. Guess who paid 100% while having a panic attack in the dentist parking lot because Terry could not afford it? But here's the thing. The thing that makes me laugh in that unhinged way that scares my friends. Terry used to beg me for a 4th baby for years, said our family was not complete, said 4 is the perfect number, and I said no because we were already drowning financially and emotionally with 3. Patty was pregnant. Patty was pregnant within weeks of him moving in with her. Their wedding? 8 weeks after our divorce was final. It was just 8 weeks. That's 2 months. My kids were there. We were told to keep it secret. I found out on Facebook like a stranger, then somebody posted a congratulations. There's my ex-husband in a suit I bought for him, marrying a child, in a dress that costs more than he's paid in child support, while my kids stand in the background looking like hostages at a propaganda photo shoot. This is what my life has become. They now have 6 kids between the 2 of them in a 3-bedroom rental with a broken gate, broken appliances, and a broken promise. Hell, they probably have broken dreams. The place looks like a daycare that failed inspection twice. My youngest, who's almost 11, has not been there in over a year, and he begged for dad-only time, said the babies cry constantly, the house smells weird, and Patty yells at him for eating too much. You want to know Terry's response? Well, that's not fair to the other kids if I see him separately. Not fair to the other kids, the kids that aren't his. While his biological child cries himself to sleep, asking why Daddy loves his new family more. Terry will sign over full custody of our youngest, but won't sign a single child support check. He's fought harder to avoid paying me than he has his own child. Let that sink in. The older 2 still, do week on, week off custody. They come home smelling like chaos and absolute exhaustion. My daughter hides in her room. My oldest gets migraines that mysteriously only happen at Dad's house, and I document everything for courts, and the file is getting thick. Terry owes me for the business buyout. We built a contracting company together, and the divorce decree says that he has to pay me out. He made 3 payments then stopped, but still wears my company name on his shirts every day, still uses the logo I designed, still profits from the contacts I cultivated. Oh, we have January, Mark says, tapping the court date like it's a winning lottery ticket. We make it count. Well, my therapist, another gift from the universe who somehow takes my insurance, says my body expects explosions because it's been living in them for 2 years. I tell her that's not really wrong. Every notification could be another disaster. Every phone call could be more lies to untangle. My friend Millie drives me to campus at 7 a.m. twice a week because I'm too anxious to drive after a particularly bad night. Hands me coffee that's more sugar than caffeine and just tells me that I'm brave. I don't feel very brave. I feel like I'm held together with spite and spreadsheets. The nights are the worst. When the kids are asleep and I'm surrounded by paperwork that screams about failure and debt and custody evaluations. When Terry's texts swing from "you'll regret this" to "we were epic together" in the span of an hour. Once, Patty sent me a selfie just out of nowhere. Her holding their new baby on her hip, smirking at camera captions, "We're happy, move on." I wanted to reply with a photo of the child support, or the CRA letter, or my son crying because daddy chose his new family instead. But I blocked her and I threw up. Frankie, sweet broken Frankie, filed for divorce too. Got it done quick and quiet. Doesn't talk about it, and when Patty starts drama on social media, he doesn't engage. Just exists in his dignity while she spirals in public, and I study how he refuses to give her power. I'm learning. So, the CRA calls monthly. Apparently they've reviewed my case but need more documentation. Always more. More proof that my kid lives with me. More proof that Terry lied, and more proof that water is wet and the sky is blue, and that men who leave their wives for barely legal girls are generally not trustworthy with government forms. So, I drop off school, pick up kids, submit proof, pay for things Terry won't, study for exams while making dinner, write essays while reviewing legal documents, and exist in this weird liminal space between student and mother and survivor. It's a weird place to be right now. So Terry filed an affidavit last month claiming I'm an unfit mother. Can you believe that? Simply because I had a panic attack at the dentist. The same dentist appointments where I was paying for his son's dental work that he refused to cover. So Mark filed a response that basically said, unfit is committing federal fraud and paying zero support while making false accusations. But in a more legal language with citations. And guess what? The judge scheduled case conferences. Terry no-showed one, blamed car trouble. Patty posted a boomerang of them kissing and the supposedly broken car just an hour later cruising down the street. My oldest told me last week that dad says I'm greedy and trying to ruin his new family. I showed him the pharmacy receipt for his brother's antibiotics that insurance did not cover. You know, the ones I paid for while Terry claimed poverty. Is this greedy? I asked. He looked older than 15 when he nodded and hugged me. My daughter admitted. She hides in Terry's bathroom with all 6 kids screaming, "It's like a zoo!" is what she said. Eyes flat in that way that absolutely breaks my heart. A really sad zoo where all the animals cry. I bought her noise-canceling headphones and wrote a letter to the judge that I'll never send about this, what this is doing to our children. About how they're being parentified at Patty's house, about how my daughter is basically a free babysitter and my oldest is a shuttle service. The CRA sent a final notice last month to pay the $40,000 or face legal action. So, Mark slammed his pen down so hard it bounced off the table and did a 360 kickflip. We need his payroll records, his tax returns, his bank statements. Give me everything. Terry claims he's between invoices and has no money. So, Patty posted about her new designer diaper bag the same day. Can you believe it? I have 17 alarms on my phone. I take anxiety medicine. I call Mark. I email documentation. I breathe. I drink water. Call Sarah. Call CRA. Submit assignments and pick up kids, and I finally get to breathe again. Millie dragged me to a free legal clinic run by retired lawyers who do pro bono work for fun, say one of them. This beautifully elderly woman who looked like she's eaten men, like Terry, for breakfast, reviewed my file and actually laughed. He's sloppy, she said, pointed to dates that did not line up. Here, he claimed full custody while texting you about pickup. That's perjury, honey. Perjury with a paper trail. My favorite type. I slept 4 hours straight that night, first time in months. Last week, Terry showed up demanding his air fryer and his couch. See, the air fryer I bought him, and before I met him, I had two, and I just replaced them with a better one, so technically it's mine. And the couch my mother gave us. I offered him the sidewalk to sit on, and he started yelling at the kids miss him. My youngest was hiding behind my legs, shaking, and I filmed everything on my phone. Survival looks like being your own body cam now. Well, then Frankie dropped off a box last week, said it was stuff Patty left in his garage. Her old notebooks from when they were together. Inside was a budget labeled baby number 3, dated 2 weeks after my separation. Notes about launching and timing the reveal, and this line that made my blood run backward. Terry says CRA is easy to trick if you know what you're doing. Written in her handwriting, dated like she was just taking minutes at a fraud meeting. I sat on my kitchen floor and shook for an absolute hour. Mark's eyes went full shark when I showed him. We subpoena everything, every text, every email, every grocery list if we have to. So we filed for full arrears with interest, legal costs, and forensic accounting of the business, the whole 9. Terry's lawyers, and I use that term loosely because I'm pretty sure this guy got his degree from a cereal box, sent a settlement offer. I dropped the CRA claim and he gives me the air fryer. You can't make this up. The air fryer. So Mark laughed at it for a full minute like he was losing his mind. Then he drafted a response that was basically legal speak for go you-know-what to yourself. With citations. My youngest asked last week if Dad could come to his school holiday concerts if he promises to be gentle. Gentle like his father is a wild animal that might bite. I said we'd see. Then I emailed the principal a heads up with a copy of the custody order. Terry didn't come, texted busy an hour before, and I bought my son the biggest milkshake I could find and watched him pretend it made up for his father's absence. Yesterday, Patty messaged me from a burner account. We're not scared of court. I forwarded it to Mark with a please handle in the subject line, and she deleted the account within an hour. January court date is tomorrow. Today, in 7 hours, CRA is still my benefits frozen. I sold my wedding rings last month to pay for tuition and the kids' activities. The pawn shop, it was the lighting that made me look like a ghost trying to haunt my own life. Sarah says real power is boring. It's paperwork and court dates and documented patterns and revenge. It's just keeping detailed records of every supervised transfer that he misses. My middle child asked me last week if love has an expiration date. I told her love doesn't expire. But sometimes it turns into something else. Sometimes it turns into lies, and sometimes it turns into a lesson. So tonight, 3 hours ago, my phone starts going insane. First was a message from Patty's real account saying I can't sleep, he's ruined everything. And then, he told CRA you're crazy, he made me lie and say the kids live here or he would leave us. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely read the next part. I have screenshots, I'll testify against him, but I need immunity or something. I don't know, I'm scared. She sent photos, Terry's handwritten notes from court tomorrow full of plain lies. Bank transfers showing that he has hidden money, and one labeled Nemo buyout hold. That's my business buyout he claimed he couldn't afford. He said if he starved you financially, you would just give up and disappear. Mark says don't respond, forward everything, back it up in 3 places, and breathe. But Patty, she just kept going. He's not the father he pretends to be. He hits things, he screams, the kids are scared, I'm scared. But I'm more scared of being you, 40 with nothing because he takes it all. I'll let the judge know everything about the CRA fraud, about hiding money, and about the business accounts you don't know about, all of it. Guys, I kept everything, every text when he laughed about making you homeless, every plan to claim the kids on the taxes, every lie. I'm 22 and have 4 kids with a man who's planning to do to me what he did to you, and I can already see it. My mom will watch my babies tomorrow. I'll be at court and I'll bring everything. Well, then Terry starts calling 23 times in the past hour. I didn't answer. Patty's last message sent while Terry was calling. He's at his friend's house. He doesn't know I found everything. He doesn't know I know your lawyer's name. He definitely doesn't know I've been recording him for 3 months. See you at 9 a.m. Guys, it's now 2:47. Court is at 9. My alarm goes off in 3 hours, and Terry is still calling. Patty's typing bubble just keeps appearing and disappearing like she's writing a novel and deleting it, and my youngest is asleep in his room, safe and unaware that his father's empire of lies might finally collapse in about, 6 hours from now? My older two are at Terry's for the week, probably listening to him rage about tomorrow. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, surrounded by 3 years of receipts and lies and documentation, drinking coffee that's gone cold, wearing the same PJs I've had on for 2 days, and realizing that sometimes the best revenge really is not just wanting and waiting for someone to become exactly who you always knew they were. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, the 22-year-old they left you for realizes she's next on the list and decides to burn it all down for you. Guys, I don't know if I'll be back for an update. If I survive, if Patty shows up, if Terry does not spontaneously combust from his own lies. Well, if the judge does not laugh us all out of the courtroom, wish me luck, or sanity, or just wish that Patty brings those receipts that she promised. Because I'm about to walk into court with my ex-husband's new wife as my star witness. And honestly, I could not have written a better plot twist if I tried. Alright guys, that was a crazy story. There's no update that I could find on this. However, I did read a comment that said OP won the court case. It looks like her ex is actually going to jail. He did not get prison time, but he got, apparently, a lengthy home sentence, whatever that means. Guys, I'm going to read the first comment, and we can talk about it, then I'll read the second. This is the most satisfying karma I've ever seen. Patty realizing at 22 that she's about to become OP at 40, broke and discarded for someone younger. The fact that Terry committed federal fraud by claiming the kids lived with him while still married and living in OP's house shows that he's not just a cheater, he's a criminal who weaponized bureaucracy against his family. OP's youngest son asking if Daddy can come to his concert if he promises to be gentle is absolutely heartbreaking at the most, and shows these kids are traumatized by their father's behavior. Terry moved in with Patty 2 days after being kicked out, but claims he never cheated. The gaslighting is Olympic level. The man, he refused to pay for his son's dental work while buying his new wife designer diaper bags, and showing his priorities are completely and utterly twisted. OP had to sell her wedding rings to pay for her kids' needs while Terry hides money in secret business accounts, and Patty just exposed them. The fact that Patty found handwritten notes that were where Terry was laughing about making OP homeless proves this was calculated cruelty. Guys, I have to agree with mostly all those points by this commenter. However, this second commenter is totally against OP. It says, OP, you're painting yourself as the victim, but admits that she packed his belongings in garbage bags and left them in the rain, which is just unnecessarily cruel and probably triggered a lot of his subsequent behavior. She's been documenting every tiny thing for years, like someone planning litigation from day one, rather than trying to actually co-parent effectively for children's sake. The fact that she immediately enrolled in college after the divorce suggested that she had been planning her exit strategy too, and Terry might have sensed that, leading to his Easter announcement. OP admits that her PTSD is affecting her judgment, but does not acknowledge how that might be coloring her interpretation of events. Not everything is a conspiracy against her. Come on, Patty's 22 with 4 kids and is clearly panicking before court. Her messages could be fake or coerced, and OP should not trust someone who helped destroy her marriage. Are you guys still reading this? So, I would like to hear from you guys what you think about these comments. Drop it down below, let's discuss it, and if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.